Section 8 refers to the ethical conduct of research. Here we're asking you to certify that you're complying with standards in the field and with university policy and procedure on controlled areas of research. The top begins with conflicts of interest. You can see that we've highlighted the conflict of interest policy with these two arrows. Make sure you're familiar with the institutional conflict of interest policy by clicking on the link below to be able to understand what it means to certify that you have no conflict of interest in this project with any of the involved parties. This particular investigator is clicking that they have no conflict of interest with their partners or with the agency. The next row indicates financial conflict of interest. Again, you want to make sure you're familiar with that financial conflict of interest policy, which is the second link below. There are particular agencies that require that we have financial conflict of interest disclosures on file before we submit the grant. So in that first link, there is a list of agencies that require we have financial conflict of interest reports. These reports have to be submitted to the Office of Research and Projects for all investigators on the project before we can submit the grant. Carefully look over this list and the policy which defines investigator. In this case, the principal investigator is indicating that there is no need for financial conflict of interest disclosure. In the third row, the PI is indicating that there is no animal care involved, there's no hazardous waste generated, there are no biohazardous materials that need to be controlled, no radiological control needed, but they are expecting to use human subjects in their study, and they have submitted a form to their IRB. Remember that this should be an automatic yes if you're using surveying or interviewing, but only if it applies to research. So click on that second link below to make sure that your project fits the definition of research. In the human subjects area, as well as all the other areas above, we do have procedures in place by which you can submit a protocol for managing your project. So if you had submitted your protocols and your management plans, indicate that in that middle column, and if you have an application number, you can write that in as well. The next two sections refer to student employment on the grant, export controls and intellectual property restrictions on the project. If you have students indicated on the grant, here they do have students in their budget, so they're checking yes. If you have foreign subrecipients, subcontractors, collaborators, or even students involved on the project, you should let us know by clicking yes here. If you're traveling outside the U.S., let us know. We also need to know if the project involves proprietary information from other entities, or if the sponsor restricts access to or dissemination of the information on the project or disclosure of the project results. Also, let us know if the project terms and conditions restrict the types of personnel who can be involved in the research. Is there encrypted source code or software on the project? Will any of it be shipped outside of the U.S.? And of course, if you've clicked yes on any of these above, please provide some explanatory comments in the box right below.